So, in this video, I'm going to talk about why slow progress is good and why it's better than no progress. Now, there has been many times in my life where I've had fast progress and lots of progress and progress just coming everywhere, and I've got everything's going great. My workouts in YouTube, in school, fitness, everything I'm doing, business, all that sort of stuff. There's been times where I've had a crap ton of progress. There's just everything's been going super well. I've been growing, I've been doing good and everything, and there's been lots of progress. And there's also been the opposite. There's also been many times in my life where there's been not as much progress. Times where it seems like I'm doing all the same things I was when I had lots of progress, but I was not making the same progress, and it's sort of confusing. Like, if I'm doing the same thing, why am I not seeing all the progress? And I want to just sort of talk about this topic today. I'm sort of going to go through a few things of like why that sort of progress, you know, comes and goes, and also just some thoughts on slow progress and just a bunch of different things like that. So the reason that you can be doing the same things from, if you're doing the same thing now compared to what you would the same thing a month ago, if you're doing the same thing in those two times, but a month ago you were making lots of progress and now you aren't, it's most likely because from you doing all those things, they were challenging, or they were new, they were harder than the last set of things you'd done until you were growing, right? Because you don't grow without challenge. You can only grow with challenge, and you can only grow with hard things. And so once you've done a certain set of things, and that's been hard at that time, and you've grown and you've adapted to those things, they're now no longer hard. They're easy, and that's fine for a while. But after you've used those set of things to grow, and it's been a while, and it's been a few months doing the same things, you have to keep making them harder. You have to progressively overload. Now, this doesn't mean you have to do a whole bunch of different things. This doesn't mean if you're doing meditating and reading and working out, and then you sort of stop growing with those, you have to do a bunch of different habits. But you have to scale up how you're doing those habits. So say you're meditating, right? And first, meditating for 5 minutes is really hard. But after a while, you meditate for 5 minutes every day, and after like 2 weeks, it's easy. And then you continue meditating for 5 minutes, but you're not seeing those benefits like you were when you first started. And that's because your body is adapted to that, and you're now used to doing just 5 minutes. So what you need to do is you need to challenge yourself and go for 10 minutes. And do 10 minutes every day for a week or two. And then eventually that'll become less challenging. And do 15 minutes. And eventually you'll get better and better. And you'll get to a point where you're doing enough of that thing where after a while, you don't really need to keep growing. You don't really need to keep upping that challenge as regularly. So maybe when you first start, I'll use the example of meditation. When you first start, you might need to meditate for 5 minutes every day. And then a week later, you might do 7 minutes later. And then a week later, you might do 10 minutes. And then a week later, you might do 15 minutes. But after 6 months of doing that, and you're now up to 30 minutes, you you won't have to keep growing that challenge every week, right? So maybe you do 30 minutes a day, and that's where you feel like you're getting the most benefits from, and you feel like if you do any more, it might not be helpful, and you've sort of gotten to that good balance point of like it's enough that it's still a challenge, it's enough that I'm still growing, and it's enough that I'm still seeing the benefits, but any more would sort of be useless. It's sort of like the 80-20. You've got the 80%, and anything else is sort of that 20%, where you could do from 30 minutes to get 80%. If you could go to an hour, but you're only going to get 20% more results, is it really worth doubling the challenge for 20% more? Not really. And that's how you want to see progress, is you need to continue to progressively overload the challenge. You need to continue to take on more challenges and to grow so that you continue to see the progress. And after a while, after you do that enough times, you're not going to need to continually up it as much because the challenge is so big, you're gonna slow down in the progress. Say it's in the gym, right? And if you go to the gym, you know the term newbie gains. When you first start in the gym, because you're starting from nothing, it seems like you're going up super fast, right? It seems like you can add, 5 pounds to your bench press every 2 weeks, and it's going amazing. And that seems like a lot because that's maybe the same amount of progress you make in a year, right? But it's because you're starting from a very low bar. So say when you first start, I'll use pounds because I know majority of the internet is American, right? If when you first start and your bench press is only 45 pounds, and then within a week it's up to 50 pounds, like, oh, I gained 50 pounds, I gained 5 pounds bench press growth in a week, and then it goes up 5 pounds a week later, and 5 pounds a week later. That's cool because those 5 pounds, that's like 10% bench press growth every week. But if you're now 3 years in and your bench press is 300 pounds, that 5 pounds is not the same 10%, right? And it's now only 2% or 3%. To be able to get that same 10% growth, you need to add 30 pounds. And so it seems like the growth is slowing down, but in reality, it's just becoming smaller and smaller compared to where you're at. And this is why a lot of people think that they're not seeing as much progress as they were when they first started, and maybe that's true. But most times you're still progressing at the same rate, it's just not the same percent. So I'll go back to the example of meditation. If you start at 5 minutes and you do that every day for a week, and the next week you push it up to 10 minutes, you've just doubled the challenge. You've just gained 100% growth. But if you're now doing 30 minutes a week and you gain 5 minutes, that's only like 15% growth, not 100. And so it's the same amount of growth, but it's a different percent. And so that's where a lot of people think that they're slowing down with progress. But in reality, they're not really slowing down. It's just much harder to see because it's a much smaller amount of progress. And so that's the first thing, is over time, the progress that you are making in the beginning is still going to be the same, but it's going to be much less significant. It's going to seem like much less, even if it is the same. And you might be seeing less progress. You might have been adding 5 minutes a week to your meditation, and now you're only adding 1 minute a week. But you're still 10 times further than you were when you started. So if you're still seeing progress, it's fine. As long as you're still able to see the results, as long as you're still growing, as long as you're still adding to it, no matter what happens, as long as you're going forwards, you're not going backwards, okay? And so now I want to talk about another point that I've come up with. And that is, if you aren't going forwards, you're going backwards. Now, I don't know why I said I come up with this, because I didn't come up with this, but I've sort of been thinking about this a lot. And since we're talking about progress and that kind of thing, I thought I'd mention this. Now, this point more applies to the work you're putting in to get the progress you want. So, say for instance, let's go back to a different example. Alright, instead of meditating and working out, what can we use now? Let's say reading, alright? Reading, so that's our example. Say that you're reading 10 pages a day. And you're learning all these things. Actually, I won't use reading. Say that you're, whatever it is, in any endeavor, doesn't matter, it doesn't need an example. It can be the example for itself. Whatever you're doing, as long as you're continuing to do that task, you're making progress. So we'll go back to reading. I'll go back to reading. If you're reading 10 pages a day, alright, maybe you're not reading more pages. Maybe you're not going to, in a week, every week, go, okay, now I'm going to read 11 pages. Now I'm going to read 12 pages. Now I'm going to read 15 pages. Maybe you're not adding onto that amount of work. But the fact that you're reading 10 pages a day, you're still getting the growth from that. You're still getting the benefits. You're still seeing the progress. So you don't always have to do more work than you were last week or last month. As long as you're doing that task, you're still going forwards. So for all the examples I've given, whether it's meditation, reading, going to the gym, as long as you're still doing that task, you're not going backwards, you're going forwards. So whether you're going to the gym, but your lifts haven't been going up as much as you would have liked them to. But the fact that you're in the gym and you're still working and you're still working out, that means you're going forwards, because you're not going backwards, you're going forwards, alright? Because if you're not doing anything, you're going backwards. If you're staying in the same spot, you're going backwards, alright? So if you're not working out, you're going backwards. But if you continue working out, you're going forwards. So whether you want to make the progress by adding more to the load, or whether you want to make the progress by simply doing that task over and over again, both of those examples are going to give you the progress. Alright, both of those things are going to be progress. You don't always have to be adding to the load. You don't always have to be doing more than you were last week, because it's gonna get to a point where you can't. It's gonna get to a point where you've gotten so far that at this point you can't really add much more to the load. Alright, maybe you can keep adding to your meditation each week, or your pages you're reading, or the workouts you're doing. But after a while, there's going to be a point where you can't do anymore. It's going to get to a point where you're meditating an hour a day and you just don't have time to do anymore. It's going to get to a point where you're reading 50 pages a day and you just can't do anymore. It's going to get to a point where you're going to the gym 6 days a week and you're doing the best workouts and you can't really do much more. You just have to stick with what you're doing. And that's sort of the ultimate point. The ultimate point you want to get to is when you can't continue to build up much. Because that means you've put in the work and you've got to that point where now you don't have to do a bigger load. You've got to the point where you can just continue doing what you're doing and you're still seeing growth. And that's sort of the point everyone wants to get to, is where they've done something so much, so long, that they've now got the perfect amount, alright? Maybe that's half an hour of meditation a day, or an hour of meditation a day, or 20 pages, or 50 pages a day. And it doesn't have to always be more than the last time, or heavier than the last time, or longer than the last time. But it's enough where you are still seeing results without adding anything else. And that's where people want to get to. So that's been a bit of a spiel about productivity. So I've got a few more points to cover quickly. Let's have a breather. Alright, let's just chill out. I know you're probably watching this video and you've got things to do and you're fast and you're halfway in this video, like, what is he doing? But everyone just like, let's just have a breather, alright? Because we're thinking about progress, we're thinking about getting better, we're thinking about doing more work and more this and more that. But maybe just chill, right? Just relax, alright? Just sit here and relax with me for a bit. So, I think that's pretty much all my points covered. But, last thing. Now we've had a little bit of a break. Let's go back to the last point. All things successful were built on slow progress. Now, what does this mean? This means that every great person that you admire, every successful person, every professional athlete, every successful businessman, successful YouTuber, successful weightlifter, whatever it is, any successful project, any successful business, anything that goes and succeeds was built off slow progress. Now, I'm not saying there's not fast progress. There's not days where you do amazing, and there's not days where you do amazing progress. But 99% of the time, whatever you're working towards is going to be built on slow progress. So, for instance, this YouTube channel, I've been posting on this YouTube channel for 6 months now. I've been posting on YouTube in total for 9 months. But this channel is being built on slow progress. I'm not uploading multiple videos a day. I'm not getting thousands of views a video. But I'm slowly progressing. Alright, I'm uploading a video every week, 2 videos every week, 3 videos every week. I'm slowly getting more views, slowly getting more subscribers, and I'm slowly building up my audience, slowly building up this channel, slowly building up my knowledge. And I'm building this channel on slow progress. Now, yes, it is amazing when there's fast progress. Yes, it's amazing if a video gets more views than normal, when a video does well and you get 10 new subscribers, and that's amazing. But that's not all the time. Now, that's happened multiple times. It's happened a few times. But it doesn't happen often. And so you need to become okay with the fact that whatever you're trying to work towards, whatever you're building, is going to be built off slow progress, alright? There's a saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, alright? And that sort of applies to this, is whatever big thing you're working to isn't going to be built instantly, isn't going to become successful off of one amazing day. It's going to become successful off of 1,000 good days, not just like 10 great days. And so I want to put that point in your guys' head, that it says anything that you're going to take from this video, remember the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. And whatever you're doing in life, whatever you're working towards, whatever you're trying to build, whatever you're trying to scale, it isn't going to become successful off of one day. It's going to become successful off of 1,000 good days, not like 10 great days. So I want you to keep that in mind. I don't know how long this video's been, I have absolutely no idea, but whatever it is, it is. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this has been helpful. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and that applies to your life as well. I hope you now understand that slow progress is better than no progress. Slow progress builds everything. Everything you see was built off slow progress. Big buildings, big companies, successful channels, whatever it is, none of them were built in a day. None of them were built off of one successful hit. Everything that's ever been successful, anything that's ever succeeded, was built off of slow progress. It's something that I've come to terms with over the last year and a half, is that you don't have to be making insane progress all the time. You just have to be continually doing the work that's going to get you the progress. And then you'll see the progress, whether it's slow progress or fast progress. If you're doing the work that's going to get you any progress, that's progress. Doing the work is progress. So, I hope this video has been helpful. As I said, have no idea how long it's been. Probably at this point at least 10 minutes. Hope so. Don't know. Thank you for watching. If you want to join a community of people who want to improve their lives, who want to learn, who want to become more knowledgeable individuals, who want to become more capable individuals of themselves, go ahead and check out my Discord server. It is completely free. I'm not going to ask anything else of you, but the link is in the channel description if you want to check that out. But other than that, hope you guys have an amazing day. Hope this video has been helpful. Subscribe if this video is good. Like the video. Make sure, if you guys genuinely like this video, please boost it as much as you can. Watch the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment your thoughts on the video, because that sort of just helps me able to get these videos out to more of you guys. I can get out more videos the more that these get boosted. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.